I cannot do a simple thing. I cannot control myself. I'm in a very bad mood. Then let's order pizza and everything will be sorted for me. It has nothing to do with your willpower. For me, that craving was not for that food. That craving for...
And now you cut that wire between your feeling and the pizza.
Slight twist. You cannot cut that wire. You cannot delete a belief. There is nothing good, bad, healthy, unhealthy, true, false, nothing for your mind. Nothing matters. It is just your survival and your pleasure. If that conflict is not resolved, you will get back to that same pattern. To feel a feeling, it takes you 7 seconds. After that, it is your thought process that takes over.
Why are we doing that? We don't have willpower. We are not enough. It's actually the mind who is protecting us behind the voice.
So it is like repeating. Your mind learns by repetition. This is the biggest AI that I have in my head already.
How will one know whether it's the subconscious mind or your thought that you're listening to?
The very basic thing that we miss is
What if the reason you keep going back is not a weakness? It's the same feeling. You said you would stop, but you did not. Maybe it's a pattern, it's a habit, it's a feeling that you keep repeating every time. And every time when it happens, you think, what's wrong with me? Welcome back to Life Architects, a space where we stop hoping for a better life and start designing one. Today I'm joined by Mukta. Mukta is founder of Journey to Mindful Life, who has helped multiple people understanding their subconscious mind and help people to overcome patterns in which they are stuck. So Mukta, welcome to our episode.
thank you, Nipur.
Can you tell our listeners what do you do in simple terms?
Simple terms is a little difficult, but yes, I work with the modality of rapid transformational therapy. And from the name, if you want to transform your mindset really quickly, then this is something that really works. Could be from anything from belief that you have, which is keeping you stuck in a place. Could be anything like addiction, phobias, simple things like confidence, self-esteem, stress, anxiety. So it is all about your mind. So if you feel you're stuck somewhere with your mind and it is not helping you the way it should, then I am the person to help.
It's good to know, Mukta, what you are doing. When you say that people are stuck with their addictions, feeling, mindset, what do you mean by it? What does it feel being stuck in some pattern or in some addiction?
See, when the clients, they come to me, I feel a constant feeling of feeling hopeless. They've tried almost everything. They've tried different therapies. They've tried working it consciously and thinking that there is some problem with their willpower that they're not able to work. Simple things like binging. You try different diets. You try and do different things that, okay, from today, I'll not have sugar. It goes till a week, 2 weeks, and then finally some episode would happen and you feel so awful within that I cannot do a simple thing. I cannot control myself over a simple piece of cake. So that is the feeling that they are constantly fighting. And my first thing to them is, it is nothing to do with your willpower. It is completely nothing to do with your willpower. There is no problem in what you are doing. It is just a conflicting belief in your mind. The moment you tell your mind clearly, precisely, accurately that this is what I want, it will work, for you. You don't have to even think about it. It is like that.
So when do you say willpower doesn't have a role here? You need to tell your mind, but isn't both the same? Your willpower will only help you to say this to
You need to first sort out the conflicting belief. It is all about conflicting belief in your head. It is like a simple example I will give you. Saying, if I talk of binging, I have been, when I started with rapid transformation therapy, I would say, while I was training with Marissa, you get to work on your conflicting beliefs. That is the first thing that we do. And one of my conflicting belief was the same. I lost around, say, good 17, 18 kilos after my first pregnancy. But somehow I have been a clean eater. I have done things right in that zone. But when it comes to having pizzas, I don't know what happens. I really don't know. I didn't know before my RTT session that I had. But something, when it comes to pizzas, I just cannot control. I overeat. I know that I'm done. I am full. But still, I would really want to go for one more slice. It is that kind of thing. And there's a joke in my family. They know that if I am feeling awful, I'm in a very bad mood, then let's order pizza and everything will be sorted for me. So that is how it was. And when I did this session, it is like you do with your student colleagues that you do these things. So one of the colleagues helped me with it. And when we did that, it comes from the place where I don't know if I'm from Delhi. And Delhi, when I was growing up, Nirala's was the first thing that came, which brought in pizzas as a concept. And that time, our celebration was going to Nirala's. So my family time and all my memories with my family, it is all revolving around that same food, that same place. So that is what it is. Food actually is nothing but same combination of carbs, protein, and all those things. So it is not that your body is asking for that food. It is your mind asking for that food, because somewhere in your mind there is a wiring already set that if you're feeling lonely, if you're missing your family, it will take you back to that same pattern, that you go and have a pizza and that will kind of get you back on that same place. So that connection is already there in my mind. Those pizzas are connected to celebrations, they are connected to my family. So whenever I'm feeling lonely, missing my family, which happens a lot when as an expat you are out here and for any occasion, especially around festivities going on in India, and you are like, what the hell am I doing here? So that is the time. So for me, that craving was not for that food. That craving was for my family, for having that connection, with my people. So whenever I was missing that, my mind was taking me back to that. So the moment that conflict is resolved, that this connection, it is like rewiring, putting that wire out from here and putting it in a different socket, that now when I miss my family, then I call them up. I'll call some of my friends. I will connect back with them rather than ordering pizzas. So it is just some rewiring that has to be done. Once that rewiring is done, then when I tell my mind that this is what I want, I don't want to, I still have pizzas that I don't overeat now. I know, okay, 2 slices, I'm done. So that is how it goes now.
So, what I'm understanding is you rewired your brain in the way that before pizza was a must for you, it was connected to your feeling or a belief.
Yeah.
And now you cut that wire between your feeling and the pizza. And now you have replaced that wiring with some other response to that belief. Can I say that?
Slight twist.
Mhm.
You cannot cut that wire. You cannot delete a belief. You can just replace it. So it is that same wire, just the socket, instead of wiring it in the pizza socket, now I wire it to my calling a friend socket. So that is how that wiring changes. So you don't cut anything, just replace it with a much more powerful thing that you need now. So that is the basic thing around whenever my clients come, that is what I look for, that what is it that is conflicting in your head.
When you say about belief, so what exactly is the belief and where does this belief lie in your head?
See, it is basically in the subconscious mind that we talk of. And 95% of the time, you are acting from that belief system, what we call a framework. Like we say that this is how I am. I am an introvert. I am, good with the people. I'm good in public speaking. There's nothing like that. It is just a belief that has been formed over a period of time. And generally, this belief system for you is formed in the age of 2 to 8 or maybe 10 years. It goes that back. Because that is the time that as a child, your logical mind does not work that much. It is just your feeling mind that is working, right? So when you are working out of your feelings, then it is not the event. It is what meaning you are attaching to that event that gets stuck in your subconscious. So that is a kind of wiring that is established, a framework, because when you're born, it is all like clean slate. There's nothing there. So no child is born thinking that I'm not enough, I don't deserve love, I don't deserve, they deserve all the attention. Like as a child, they know I cry and my parents would be just head over heels with me and, get everything that I want. That is a belief that a child is born with, that I deserve everything. I deserve all the love from my parents. Over a period of time, incidents happening, and they don't have to be traumatic incidents like people say. Like there's a misconception about therapy which people still have, that if I have to go for therapy, that means there's a major problem with my brain, with my mind. No, it is nothing like that. Like I said, this is a simple belief that I just talked about, having just a food. It was not bothering me as such, but I never got that concept that why is it that I can control everything around food but not with this specific one. So it could be as simple as that. So it is just about correcting those things, those beliefs for you. And subconsciously, yes, conscious is your logical mind. That is what we talk about. So 5%, we work from the logical mind. So that is where all this thing, based on the current situation. Let's say I have a project and I know that I have to go ahead and deal with public speaking. I have to give a speech or maybe a presentation in front of board of members. Now, you can train your mind. It is nothing that I'm not good with public speaking, I am an introvert. No, you can always train your mind, and your mind is the best ally. If it is given the right messaging, if it is given the right instructions, then it is like a genie waiting for your command, but it is just that we do not give the right messages to our mind. We always conflict it. And once it is conflicted, then it just sits there that I don't know what you want. On one hand, you're telling me that I want to kind of cut down on sugar, lose weight. And on the other hand, whenever you feel lonely, you want to go for sugar. So what do I do? Because for the mind, the only rule that works is your survival. It will always take you towards pleasure and away from pain. There is nothing good, bad, healthy, unhealthy, true, false, nothing for your mind. Nothing matters. It is just your survival and your pleasure. That is it. So anything that will take you towards pain, it will pull you away from it. And no, don't go there. You might get harmed, you might not like it, or you might face the same situation which you've faced somewhere 5 years when you were on the stage for the first time and the kids around were laughing on the stage when you stammered a little. But no, it is nothing like that.
So going back one step before, Mukta, you mentioned that you had a belief in your mind and you changed that belief. And you also mentioned that generally those beliefs are developed in our subconscious mind in the age gap of 2 to 10 years, right? So those beliefs are formed by how kid understands or perceive the situation and what kids take from that situation.
Yeah.
That's how beliefs are formed, right? So can you take us more into deeper level that you had that belief related to pizza? When did you find out when and how that belief was developed in your childhood? What was the connection and how it was developed in your subconscious
Like I
mind?
said, the celebration around my family, if I get good result, then the treat was at Nela's. That was Chanakya. So you go for movie, you have your dinner there. If there is a birthday we need to celebrate, especially mine because I was so damn fan of those pizzas that time. Now I don't, but yes. So that was the celebration. So for me, that celebration was around this thing, right?
So for you, pizza was connected with good memories and happy mood of yours. Yeah. So when you're very
Family time, friends, enjoyment, celebration, everything was linked to that place. So my mind has that wiring already there. That okay,
so when you have a bad mood, your mind says, "Okay, let's make you happy. Let's have a pizza." So you will go back to your happy mode, your family mode.
yep,
Wow, that's fascinating.
that is. Why, like I said, the first trials that I did were on me, my child. So, but then eventually, yes, once you are into this thing, now I've done like good number of clients, and all of them have had good results. So even complex traumatic cases, addictions, self-harm kind of stress orders. So yes, now it's been a different journey.
Yeah. So can you give us few examples, like which kind of beliefs are there generally in subconscious mind? Have you seen any pattern in that?
See, when you talk of general patterns, if I have to broadly classify, I can classify it into three different beliefs, or every belief would lie mostly under these three umbrella beliefs that we talk about. So, one very basic belief that people come to me specifically around self sabotage would be, I'm not enough. That is a very common belief that people come with. They feel that they are not enough to do something. And that is why, just to avoid that failure, they would sabotage whatever they are doing. Second belief that I feel is very commonly seen is this is not available to me, specifically around love, relationships. So people feel that love is not available, that is not something for them. Money is another thing very commonly seen, that people believe that money is not available, money is not for me. And that is why the moment, if I can again give a small example here, relationships generally, and people coming from certain background, they do have that kind of family where specifically women are not a equal party. Now, yes, times have changed, but I'm talking of their parents or their grandparents, because people coming to me with this age group now, the belief system that was formed for them was because of their parents or their grandparents, and they've seen the female in the family kind of losing their freedom, not able to pursue their career, or always around the kids and the household and things. So for them, marriage is something, or getting into a relationship or settling down into a relationship is more around giving away their freedom. And if now at this age I am looking for having a relationship, so consciously I'm thinking, I want love in my life, I want to settle down, I want to have a good stable relationship. But that belief system that is sitting, subconsciously far behind in your mind, it says no, the moment you get married, you will lose everything that you have. You will lose your career because maybe you cannot work, you have to sacrifice, you have kids, you have to sacrifice, you have to give away your freedom and all that. So there's a big conflict. So your mind will never support you on that. You might get into, because consciously you're trying so hard, you might get into a relationship, but when you think or when you find that it is now time to settle down, you will find somewhere you will sabotage your relationship, whatever the reason may be. You'll start finding faults, you will start finding things are not working, so anything. But you yourself would be the one saying that I don't want to go ahead. There is no fault of yours. It is just that there is a conflict in your mind. And unless and until that conflict is resolved, you will be stuck in that same situation.
So, like, let's talk about that woman having conflict between subconscious and conscious mind. So, when this war happens inside the brain, which part of brain wins and when?
Default your feeling mind, your subconscious. You might consciously be able to hold on to what you're trying to do. Same. I start with the dieting plan. I do it for a few weeks, maybe a few months, but eventually I give up. I get into a relationship till the honeymoon period is there. Few months, everything looks good. But then after a few months, when you get into that commitment mode, again, you would sabotage that. Addiction, any kind of addiction you talk about. People do think that I have that willpower. Okay, I'm strong enough. I'll not do it, because consciously, logically, you're reminding yourself. But eventually, if that conflict is not resolved, you will get back to that same pattern.
So, can we say that a reason of self-sabotage is beliefs of our subconscious system?
Conflict. Conflict is the reason. Whenever there is a conflict in your conscious and subconscious mind, then you would sabotage. So the moment that conflict is resolved, it is like, once your conflict is resolved, then your mind just has one way to move. And it is like a blueprint. You tell your mind things like manifestations. Now, I mean, not exactly. I don't want to create any controversies. But manifestation is the same thing, where you are feeling that thing so strongly. Subconscious is your feeling mind. Consciously, you are giving those visuals, those pictures, and subconsciously, you're putting all your feelings into that same energy. And once it is aligned, that your conscious and subconscious is talking of the same thing, same idea, then your mind will be supporting it. It's like a blueprint that, okay, you want it, I will give you that. Then your mind will find out ways how to take you to that particular path instead of looking for, the negatives around that, no, this cannot be done or this can go this way. No, it will be your best ally in that case.
Can I say that if your conscious mind and subconscious mind are not working together, you will have conflicts in your behavior, in your belief, in your life, in different phases of your life.
Yeah.
Can be relationship, career, money,
Yes.
job,
Sure. Yes.
anything.
Yes.
And can same belief in subconscious mind affect all the areas of life?
Mm, depends. Depends. Like if I talk of, yes, it does affect different areas, but the extent would differ. Like if I say a simple thing like this is not available, then it is around love, maybe, that I feel love is not available. But then it does not affect your money part. You can still earn, you can be very successful, but on the love side, yes, you might not be able to find your partner. That is something, yes.
When we talk about these patterns that you are explaining, these beliefs in our subconscious mind, when the person realizes, like how much time it takes the person to realize that it's not because of his or her willpower, the main root cause is the conflict or belief of subconscious mind. How can one individual realize that?
One thing is coming to therapists like me.
Of course.
That is the quickest way to do it. But I don't say that you cannot do it by yourself. You can definitely do it. Um, One thing that I tell everybody as a practice, just sit with your thoughts. We in this modern times have forgotten to sit with ourselves. It takes that effort to sit and just observe your thoughts without judging. If I can give that practice here, there's a 7-minute exercise that we do.
Mhm.
I give this to a lot of my clients who have a constant struggle around their belief system. So 7 minutes, just put an alarm and just observe your thoughts. Sit silently, do nothing. Just sit with your thoughts for 7 minutes and just observe your thoughts. Initially, it is very difficult because the thoughts, it is like a small baby, who wants your attention. So they will keep coming, all sort of things. And uh, generally, it doesn't stop there. It is like a phrase that we have that to feel a feeling, it takes you 7 seconds, not more than that. After that, it is your thought process that takes over.
Mm.
But the thing is, we do not feel our feeling, but we get on that train of thoughts. So one after another, you might start at a point A, but you end up at any point, So there is no end to it. So sitting with yourself in this practice, that teaches you to feel your feelings, to look at your thoughts and tell them that, okay, I have seen, I know what you're saying. That's it. Now you can stop. So initially, like I said, for 7 minutes when you sit, it takes a toll. You would not even realize when those 7 minutes have passed, and one after another, things that my emails, my child's school, my daily cooking, everything would try and bother you that time. But eventually, that practice, if you do, there'll be a time when 7 minutes you can just sit with no thoughts. But this is the time when we start listening to ourselves. Then is the time that your subconscious can be activated. You can listen to what your subconscious is trying to tell you. And that is the time that you yourself will be in a position to listen and find out that where is that conflict. And once you know, like that is what I tell my clients as well, that with you in 1 hour, I cannot know what has gone in your life for years, like 20, 30 years of your life. I really cannot be the person to know everything in your life. The work has to be done by the client. As a therapist, I can just facilitate, I can navigate things for you and take you at that place easily or faster. But ultimately, you are the one who has to do all the work. You are the one who has to feel good about it in the end, that, okay, now I feel kind of at peace. Now I feel there is no conflict. Now I can feel that I'm happy. So that can only come if you are in alignment with your subconscious.
I think that's such a strong exercise that you have shared with the audience. And thank you, Mukta, for sharing that. I'm really glad that you did that, because I guess it will help a lot of people in understanding themselves and understanding their thoughts and feelings, their beliefs that are coming since childhood.
Yeah.
One thing, Mukta, when you mentioned that sit for 7 minutes and slowly your thoughts would reduce and you will start listening to your subconscious mind, how will one know whether it's the subconscious mind or your thought that you are listening to?
See, when you sit in silence and there are no thoughts, then you know that whatever is now being brought up is something that has been hidden for long. That is your subconscious talking to you. There is no like green signals or there's nothing like that. You just know that, yes, now what I'm hearing is not my thought. It is not my head telling me something. It is my feeling which is trying to connect with me and tell me that, okay, this is where you are stuck and this is what you need to do. So, yeah.
So, like, if one person is doing this exercise and a person is talking with subconscious mind, so is it possible that that person can even read the belief from the childhood in that while doing that in the long run?
It takes a while. It takes a lot of practice, I would say. But yes, eventually you get there. But the meditations that we do, that is also a way of connecting you to your inner self, the higher being that is there. And your higher being is always there to protect you, to guide you. But like I said, we do not connect. We do not give that chance to our mind to connect. Everything, every answer is within you. We don't have to look outside. We've heard this phrase, I'm sure you would have heard it also, that you don't have to look outside. Everything, every answer is within you. But the problem is, we do not connect. We do not sit with ourselves to connect and find out what is it that those higher beings or higher self or subconscious or any word that we talk about here is trying to tell me. The moment we do that, the things will be, most of them will be sorted.
Okay. And how does it feel like when the person is sitting and suddenly realizes, oh, this was the pattern that I'm looking for. Okay, this is something coming from 20 years back. How does it feel to a person?
I would say it would be one thing for sure, hopeful. You feel that clarity, you feel that alignment. It feels like freedom. That I have been stuck in a place for so long. For our mind, the very basic thing that we miss is what to do. Unless and until my mind understands that where is the problem, it cannot find a solution. So it is like finding that place where the problem is. Once that problem is found, then your mind will take you to the solution itself. Then you don't have to bother. But most of the times, I don't know, there's a phrase in or a movie in Hindi, I'm forgetting the name, but something which said, "Main aisa kyun nahi?" And it's a very common thing.
Yeah.
So it is the same thing. That at times I don't realize that
Why I'm like
why am I like this, or why did I behave like this? There is nothing that we can find out. But once you find that, okay, this is why it was happening, this is what your mind was trying to do for you, then it becomes much easier to get to the next place.
But don't you think, Mukta, willpower also has a role in here?
Willpower has a role, yes, but it will only work if there is no conflict. Let's put it like that. Because yes, conscious mind does play a role. It has to be the logical mind. You have to get it to a point where you have to be. But you can only succeed in staying at that point if your subconscious is aligned.
So, okay, so it's a ladder. So first we need to fix the war between conscious mind and subconscious
The
mind.
only thing you have to do.
Then we should also have willpower.
Your mind will take you. Once you are aligned, and like I say, the wiring is fixed. If the wiring is fixed, then by default, the current has to go there. No, it doesn't have to go anywhere else. It might take a little longer. It might take a detour and go there, but it knows that is my point where I have to be.
Do you think people who are happy in all areas of their life, they have uh, a friendly, amicable subconscious and conscious mind?
Firstly, I have never found anybody who's happy in all aspects of life.
Fair.
There is all this.
It's the wrong question. Not applicable.
Yes, that question I would say is not applicable. It is just how much at peace are you with the situation you are in? Problems, yes, they would be there. That is what it is all about. Like, I don't know, I would again divert a little into that spiritual band of mine that it's your karma bhumi, you know. So you are here to get your karmas done. And how would you do that? You know, there has to be a problem which you sort it out, and that is how you move to the next one. So problems will always be there. There will never be a time when you are all sorted. But yes, it is all about deep inside that how content you are, how you can make yourself comfortable in a situation or in a place where you are. If you are at peace, then it doesn't matter. Like I might have less money, but if I know that, okay, with whatever I need, I have sorted it out and all my bills are being paid, I'm sorted. Wants can never end. I might have a smaller car and want a bigger one. So there is no end to it. And that is where the problems generally come, you know, that you want more. Leads are taken care of. That you can work on.
But if you won't think of a bigger car, your subconscious mind will not know, won't create it.
Yeah, that is why it is. That is why I said you have to be content. If I'm content at this place with this car, that okay, I have to go from point A to B, I need a car, sorted. But if I think no, I need to go here, but I need a bigger car, then put that effort. Align your conscious and subconscious. Give that visual, a clear picture to your mind. That is my aim. That is my goal. It is not a car I want Porsche or BMW or whatever. So then that is your goal. Then your mind will work towards it. That, okay, this is my next goal. Let's work towards it. It is all about how content I am. If I'm not content, then yes, that is a problem.
Yesterday, I was watching a web series on like biography of Rafa. So do you think these successful footballers, cricketers who are at the top already, they mostly get trained from their childhood, starting from age 5 and 6 to succeed, and especially in sports area. So how do their beliefs develop? And I guess success is facilitated in their subconscious mind from childhood, I guess.
Yes, I would say depends. Again, see, it is not just Rafa. I would say that when Rafa was into that training mode, there were many kids. He was the only one who came to this particular point, right? Now, it is not that the training was not given to others. It was given to everybody. Same kind of training. But the mindset that I think Rafa had or was installed in him since the beginning was to get to that particular point. But yes, somewhere deep inside, subconsciously, the alignment is done. They have put themselves in that place that this is the goal that I have to be in. And all the discipline, all the struggles that are happening, they are ready to take up all those things because they just see the ultimate goal, that this is where they have to be. Definitely, they are aligned in their mind to reach to their goal. And once the alignment is there, then yes, anything is possible. Me could be the next Rafa if we want.
That's fair enough. Coming back to the childhood. So, in the childhood, a lot of events happen. A lot of you make a lot of memories. You derive a lot of things out of those memories, out of your different experiences at home, at school, outside world. Which beliefs or memories stay in your subconscious mind, and which doesn't?
There is no such thing as which stays and which doesn't. There could be a simple thing, like if I can just give you example, uh, we're all working mothers here, right? If I talk of my child, if I was working and maybe I, whatever, a toddler, maybe 2 years, 3 years old. Now, for that 2 years, 3 years, it doesn't matter what my mom is doing. It doesn't matter how much she's earning or how important her work is. For that child, it is just that I need my mom and she was not there. Now, the same siblings, I mean, me, my brother, we've been brought up in the same family environment. But what meaning did we attach to this episode when I cried and my mom was not available or she did not look back, she did not come and pick me up? Could be different for me and my brother. There is no such thing that, and most of the times it is different. It is not the same. If as a child, I am too sensitive about it and I strongly feel that my mom was not there and she doesn't love me, that is a belief somewhere it starts picking up from there. And it takes constant effort. It is not just one time that this episode happened, but then I work out of this belief that my mom does not love me. Next time again it happens, it is again like further strengthened. And as a child, we do not blame anybody else. I felt this, but then, like I said, I'm not enough is a very strong belief, and that is a belief that the child would form that maybe I'm not lovable. Maybe I'm not good enough, that my mom is not paying attention to me. So that concept of learned helplessness, that starts developing from a very young age. So, like I said, it is not the event. Event could be as simple as this, but you cannot explain this to a 3-year-old that your mama had to work, she had to go to office, or there was a deadline, I had to, go and submit something. It doesn't matter. For the child, it is just I need in my mom, she was not there, she doesn't love me. Probably there is some problem within me. That is why she's not paying attention, she's not loving me. And from there, that belief system starts.
I was wondering, it's really good if parents can also pay attention to it with their kids, and uh, if if parents want to be more conscious and more aware for their kids, that they can understand on the day-to-day basis if kids are strengthening or getting any negative belief in their subconscious mind. Is it a way? There is a way to do that.
See, again, our ancestors, our mamas and grandmoms, they've always been telling us this same thing, that when the kids are young, they need your time the most. This is the root reason. Because that time, if for a child, the only world around them initially is their mom and dad, not even their siblings. It is only their mom and dad, and that is their world. Slowly, when they start growing up, 5, 6 years, you get into formal schools, then you start moving out. That is why I said around 8 years. That is the time that you start looking around, seeing other people, your friends, your siblings, and that connection starts. But that early years that you have, you need to have that quality time with your kids. You need to encourage them for everything that they are doing so that they do not, or from your side, that belief is never given to them that, they're not good enough or this is not available. Like a small example, again, if I can give, I cannot name my clients, but mm, there was a client of mine, and she was really struggling around career. Career as in picking up different careers and dropping it, not taking it to the final thing. Starts like, with all bang on things, or the all fire and everything, but eventually it would fade off. Now, as a child, not disclosing anything, but one of the teachers said something very nasty to this child. And we do it, generally, that, you're not good enough for this. You will not be able to do this. A simple thing as a parent also, if there are two siblings, generally, unconsciously, we do this as a parent, that you would tell one of them that, your brother is so good at it, you will not be able to do it. You go and check with him, or you go and ask your brother. But for that child, it is saying something else. For that child, it is a belief developing that no, I'm not good enough. So that is what we say. Never compare your kids. These things we hear all over Instagram and every social media thing. We hear it somehow or another. But there's a deep rooted meaning behind it, because this is where the framework for your child is developing. There is no, I mean, eventually when they use their logical mind after 8-10 years, they themselves would know that, yes, I need to work harder on a subject like maths, because it needs more effort. But initially, if I tell them that, you're not able to do 2 plus 2, they are like, no, I am not good at maths. That is a belief deeply installed at a very early age. So now, as they are growing up, they are growing up with that belief that they cannot learn maths. So, anyways, you have blocked that kind of pathway for them where they could excel in that subject. It is just that today, due to any reason, maybe as a child, I was not in a mood to study, I was not paying attention, whatever, I did not do it. But just one statement from your side has, hurt their feelings. And once that belief is formed, then it is very hard to change. Then you realize it much later. Until then, most of the damage is already done. That is why for me, I feel I really love working with the young adults, because I feel the earlier their belief system is corrected, that saves a lot of years for them. Because we realize it in midlife. When, you've tried everything, when you're young, you feel enthusiastic, you feel life is, you have a lot of things to do ahead. There are so many things you're exploring. But by midlife, when you feel that I have tried everything, nothing worked, by then you've already wasted
A lot of time.
lot of time. So that is one thing I really love. If I get young adults to work with, I feel it is so good that they have that awareness that they have to work on themselves, and they correct it at an early age where they are just entering into the world. And so yes, it saves effort. A lot of effort in fact.
Yeah, I can feel so. It can be helpful for young adults so much because they have their whole relationship lives to go on. They have whole life to build up, the career, money, everything. So, and mostly these are the areas where these beliefs affect you negatively.
Yeah.
So Mukta, when you mentioned about your client, so how was it when she realized that, oh my God, this was the belief I had coming from the childhood? How was that realization?
In our therapy word, we call it the aha moment. That's actually a aha moment for the clients when they realize that, oh, this was the reason why I have been acting like this or blocking myself. And once that is uncovered, you feel that kind of freedom and clarity by default. Then you feel that, yes, now I can go ahead and I can do whatever I have to. Like I said, I cannot tell you what is the next step. You are the one who knows that better than anybody else around you. But just to feel that, it's like unblocking, that there's a big wall that you were seeing in front of you, and suddenly that wall is no more there. You can see clearly the path. Now it is up to you how to walk on that path.
Of course, can be aha moment for anybody
Yes.
to realize after so many years that
Yeah.
that was the thing bothering you inside your mind. How much time did it take her to realize, to come to this realization, to realize that this is a belief?
That is just one session. Only one session, one session. That is, if I talk about getting into the session, half an hour into the session, that is the realization it takes. And after that,
That is an aha moment for me.
that is why I say that RTT, it works pretty rapidly. At times, I am surprised that, okay, because you really don't know what the client is coming up with. And there are a few things, like as I am not a psychotherapist or not a psychiatrist, or so they have a different role to play. So I don't deal with mental disorders because that is, I feel, totally their area to work on. But when it comes to mindset, belief system, that is something that doesn't need a lot of therapy, a lot of sessions, or months and months. It just needs that 1 hour, 2 hour of your time. That is it. And once you're unblocked, then it is like you're unstoppable. Your mind is there supporting you. Like I said, the path is clear in front of you. Now you know how to walk on that. I don't have to tell you that. But till that wall is there, you cannot see what to do, where to go. So yes, that just takes, with RTT, it doesn't take you, like for most of my clients till date, I think it's just been 2 or 3 clients that I had to go to a second session. Otherwise, most of them within one session, we've been able to tackle whatever things they come with.
Amazing results, I would say. Can you explain us a bit how RTT is and how RTT session looks like?
Okay. Um, RTT, it is, like I said, pioneered by Marisa Peer, and I've been trained by her. Now, Marisa Peer has an experience of 30 years into this therapy. And this is like a combination of various conventional therapies put into one thing. So, from hypnotherapy to regression to CBT to neuroplasticity, NLP, you combine all that in just one session. So, we are not talking of unnecessary details with you, because I know the answer is in the subconscious. That is where I have to get in and get to that root cause, uncover that what is that belief that is blocking you, and just replace it with a much more powerful one needed now. So that is why it works pretty rapidly. And how I deal with it, I generally divide it into 2 different parts. Because like I said, for me, it is to find out conscious and subconscious conflict in your beliefs. So I do an intake with my client, which is like 40-45 minutes, which is like conscious talking, to understand that what is your logical mind saying? What are you saying to yourself again and again? And then we get into the RTT session, which is totally your subconscious mind, and we go to that place where that belief system was formed. And once I find those 2 beliefs, now it is all about aligning them to the same one, which is much needed now. So we do that. And I also, as part of the process, we give a recording to our clients, because your mind will always go back to the familiar place. So 70% of the work we do it during the session. Most of the times, even 90% is done, but on average, if I talk about 70% work is done then and there. But now it is just that I don't want you to go back to what was familiar. So it is like repeating. Your mind learns by repetition, that we've seen. Even it is learning to ride a bike. I need to do that again and again, and once it is there, then you cannot unlearn it. Then it is there. You might not ride it for years, and then after 10 years, I get into a bike. It is like just getting those things again back. So it is just that reinstalling that same belief in your subconscious again and again. So it is just a 10-12 minutes of recording that we give you for 21 days to listen, which is more like the affirmations and what you've discovered out of the session and what you really want now to be installed in your subconscious. So most of the times, like I said, it doesn't even take 21 days. you are done in at the same time, maybe for a week, but just to make sure, like we say, 21 days to make a habit. So 21 days for your mind also we give that, okay, that belief is so strong that now it is your first nature. You don't have to consciously put an effort to do something, that becomes a part of you and you're working from that.
And in the session, when and how do you realize that, okay, and now this is the belief, now this needs to be fixed, and now fixing has been done?
Belief, yes. Like I said, we keep talking. It is not like we are talking now. Even during the session, we are talking to our clients continuously. We do check with them what feels aligned to them. So yes, we discover it together. I would not say that. I would say that this is what the belief is. Most of the times, they would get to that conclusion that, okay, this is what was happening, and this is what my subconscious is trying to tell me. So, like I said, I would facilitate, I would just navigate you in the right direction. But the client comes up with that belief themselves that this is what was bothering me. And once this is done, then you can replace it. And how do I know? It is the expressions of the client. When they come to you, you would generally find that they are all, like I said, very hopeless, depressed, feeling stuck. And while the session is going on, you can see something changes in their voice. You can suddenly see that confidence in, what they're talking. You would see that they are happy when they are discussing things now, or that power in their voice that, yes, I am unstoppable and I can do it. There's nothing that can stop me. So that is how I know that, yes, it has worked.
And when you said you give the exercise or you give the affirmations for 21 days, why 21 days?
Same logic. It takes 21 days to form a habit. So it is like giving your mind now 21 days to form that habit. But I said it is not 21 days that it will take. It is just by norms that we know that within 21 days, this will be done for sure.
Mm-hmm.
As of the times, even after the session, after, because we generally take 5-10 minutes to discuss after the session, and from the clients, the way they are talking and what's coming up, that it has already worked for them. But just so that you do not fall back into that same familiar zone, because familiar is comfortable. And if it is comfortable, then it is not pain for you, right? And that is why when we start doing something new, there's a slight discomfort. And the first thing that your mind will always tell you is not to do that. Not that you cannot do it. It is just for the mind, discomfort is it will associate it to pain. So the first rule that I said, pleasure, yes. Pain, no.
Hmm. Your mind will always try that you are in pleasure, not in pain.
Yes. That is the survival mechanism they feel, that till you are happy, you will survive. The moment you get in that discomfort, pain zone, then you might not survive and your mind will try everything to push you away from that.
So when we think that we are self-sabotaging ourselves, we think, oh, why are we doing that? We don't have willpower. We are not enough. It's actually the mind who is protecting us behind the voice.
Yes, your mind is just trying to tell you that that is a place where you might not be comfortable. You might face some pain or you might face some failure. So it is just trying to avoid you from that place. That is it.
And have you seen in any of your client that, okay, after some time, client reinstantiated those patterns and beliefs, and after a few months, maybe couple of months, started doing it again?
Um, Up till now, no. I haven't had any client coming to me that they've gone back to that same belief, but something else might pop up. That, yes, I have experience. But like within those 21 days, we do 2 follow-ups with the client just to see that if something else has popped up. Because while you are, like I said, it is nothing like point A and B. When you are uncovering, you have to go from your present life to somewhere many, many years back. At times, there might be few other layers which are peeled, which you were not even aware of. Now, when that layer is peeled away for you, then there might be a different kind of discomfort, a different feeling, a different thought. So now if that happens, then yes, during the follow-ups, we do a small mini session kind of thing, or at times just by talking, the client itself would know that this is where it is coming from. So we can tackle it then and there. But going to that same belief, it is like I have rewired something, then no, the wiring does not go back. It stays there. It is just to tighten to that extent that we take few more days that now this is where you stay, you don't go back.
That might be a very pleasant experience, pleasant feeling for the client.
Oh yes, definitely. And that is why I think this is my second career. I did mention it to you. And I have never thought of going back to my first one because the contentment that I get here when I see my clients, uh, you know, that feeling that they feel, the freedom they feel, and that kind of joy that you see, no IT can give you that. So no computer has that part till now. Whatever AI say in empty feedback, you don't get that anywhere else. So that is a feeling that I enjoy, and that is why I love what I do.
I did a podcast a couple of weeks back about the same topic, what AI cannot replace. And yeah, link would be in the description box. And there, we talked about that it's the consciousness in human being. And with that consciousness only, as you mentioned also, we can go to our subconscious mind and understand our wiring.
Yes. Well, that's very interesting. When I was studying, in my college time, years back, I remember AI as a subject I studied. Neuroplasty and AI were the concepts, and that was very fascinating. And we did few, what would you call, experiments. We were supposed to train the machine. We learned machine language that time, and we were supposed to train the machine to do certain things. And that was very fascinating for me. And now with whatever experience that I have, this is the biggest AI that I have in my head already. I really don't know how many neural networks are being made at every instance of time. And it is not just impacted by one or two or three variables, it is n number of variables. And every time there is a different reaction that I give. Like the same person, if you put the same person in the same scenario, you would find the reaction is different. So it is so complex as a system that I don't know, it will take ages to come to that place where you can replicate the human brain. But yes, what work is being done, it is fascinating also.
I agree. Mukta, coming back to the childhood, generally it's said that, kids learn faster than the adult. Is it also true for the subconscious mind that believes us that faster in childhood than adulthood?
I would not say so. It is just that in childhood it is easier because your subconscious is much more active. Your feeling mind is much more active than the logical mind. As we grow up, our logical mind it becomes more active, and my feeling mind that just sits silently somewhere because it keeps nubbing it down that I don't have time right now to listen to you. Let me do this, then I'll talk to you. But that time doesn't come. So yes, so it is not that it is now or in childhood, but childhood logic does not work
Yeah,
for kids.
exactly. Even I was reading somewhere that we have in our brain alpha and beta waves, and in the childhood, before 5 at least, we don't have any alpha or beta waves in our mind at all, which actually um, helps in consciousness, awareness, and logical thinking. So,
That is what when we deal with our clients using hypnosis, it is not like woohoo that we do. But the only purpose of using hypnosis is to get your brain to that alpha mode. Alpha is the average we can get a client into. There are very few clients who go beyond that. But alpha is a good state to work because at least your chattering logical mind can just sit quietly for a while and you can connect with yourself. So now you can imagine that. But beyond that is like,
But in alpha wave mode, also you can, because I think when you're alpha mode on, then also your conscious mind is still active.
yeah, it just shuts down. I mean, the chattering stops. So at least you can connect within and see what's going on. So for us, even alpha is good to work. If the client goes further, then a few clients will even go deeper. But yes, alpha is also good to work.
And how do you know in which state your client is?
For me, what is more important is to see if they are connecting with their feelings. We have tools to see during the session some questions, some actions that we know that now they are there. I mean, few exercises we can do with them just to see that yes, they are there. It's kind of what we call suggestibility tests that we do to give them some suggestion and see how are they following that. If they follow that suggestion, then I know that they are there. So that's that we'll have to do a session and
Very soon. Now I'm fascinated to experience that.
so that test I generally do even for my workshops. I do with my clients because for them it is more important to get that confidence because otherwise you always like the same question. The clients also have the same question when they are doing a session because they come all blank. And I don't want them to even let the conscious mind think that whether they are in that state or no. So before starting the session, we do a suggestibility test. So they also feel that if I was logically thinking, I would not do that. It's if I'm doing this, that yes, it's okay. And then they flow easily. So yes.
So we can say that when a person comes to you for a RTT therapy session, RDT session, initially your client has conscious mind active chattering. Client goes through RTT session, and then you shuts the chattering mode on off during the session. You shut that off, and you make their subconscious mind speak more. And as an outcome of that, you understand their feelings, beliefs, fix them during the session.
Yes.
And then magic is done.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's it I I have just one doubt, that is RTT different than hypnosis? Because a lot of people say that we are their hypnotherapists, they do hypnosis. Is RTT different than that?
RTT is a step beyond, I would say. Okay. Like I said, hypnosis we do use. So, like what they do in hypnotherapy, we do that. But we go a step beyond getting them into that regression and then correcting those. So, the tools are a little different, I would say.
Okay, so if someone is listening right now and he suddenly realized after listening to this conversation that I don't have a problem, it was something inside me that was protecting me, and for which no more I need to be afraid of. What do you want them to give a message, like what they can sit with right now?
First thing I would say to believe that there is nothing broken, there is nothing that is not available to them. It is just that the messaging that is going to their mind is somewhere conflicting. So they just need to correct that messaging. So small tweaks are needed, but there is hope and they can definitely work on that and get to the place where they want to.
Mhm. As Mukta explained, you're not broken. You're not broke. It's just that you need to fix some of your beliefs which are protecting you, which you might not need to be afraid of right now. And you need to break those beliefs now. Those might be applicable for your childhood, but they are no more applicable in your adulthood.
Yeah, that was needed then. It is just like we say rebooting the system. Those beliefs were needed then because You needed to survive. Like a simple thing I would, if I can just give, in childhood, if let's say one of your parents is abusive, now that time it is good for you to not speak in front of your dad or mom, or as a child, you don't have that power. You don't have that, you are dependent on your parents, so you cannot do that. So that time, your mind did this survival mechanism for you that you have to be quiet when your dad is abusive or he's not in a good mood. But now at the age, let's say 25 or 35 or even beyond, not speaking is like not having a voice, and you're losing so much, maybe in your relationship, in your career, in different places. You need to have a voice now. So it is like now you need to reboot your system. That belief was needed then. Your mind did think of that because for your mind, like I said, nothing and nothing, just your survival. If that time you would have spoken, maybe, being abusive, that could have gone somewhere negative for you. But now that belief is no more needed. So you need to now come out of it and just reboot your system, change that wiring. And now there is nothing to be afraid of. Now it is no more needed in your life, and you just need to change it into a new belief. Now you need to speak, you need to have a voice. It does need, like I said, once that conflict is resolved, then your mind will take you there. Then that willpower might come into picture, that I want to consciously apply that in places and remind myself that yes, I don't have to be afraid. I can speak. I have a voice. I can go ahead and talk about things. That it is just something needed then as a survival might not be needed now.
Okay, that was a very nice conversation with you, Mukta. Thank you for joining us today and sharing so much depth to this topic where I guess many people are struggling with. One last thing before we wrap up, Mukta. We generally ask one question to our guest and life architect. Complete this statement. A well-designed life is ... dot dot dot.
Well designed life, I would say, is something where you are aligned. You have that clarity of your goals and you can just work towards them. That is what I feel would be a well designed life. The moment you have that clarity, you know there are no conflicts, then your mind will eventually take you there. Clarity is something, and just trust that your mind is the best ally that you can have. It is not your enemy, it is not working against you. It might sit quietly, silently, if it doesn't understand the messaging, but it will never go against you. For it, it is only your survival. So you tell it that no, I really want to. Like, there's a phrase that we use, I choose to do this. Saying something like I love, at times we don't get that feeling, that has to come from your subconscious. So that feeling has to be there. When I say I choose to do something, that is a neutral feeling. So start from there. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to achieve, tell your mind, I choose to do this. And once you tell your mind, then it would understand that, okay, this is something consciously, subconsciously is aligned, wants to work. My person wants to do this. He chooses to do this, no matter what. Could be getting on the stage and giving a speech. You might be fearful deep inside. But if you go with this thing, this statement, repeat it to yourself. I choose to speak in front of these audience. No love, no like, no nothing. Just I choose to do this, and you see the difference. So, yeah.
So it's kind of an affirmation that people can incorporate it in.
Kind of a neutral affirmation wherein we can by default say that yes, my feelings and my logic is aligned there. So just start with that. That would do a lot of things for you.
Today's conversation might have changed the idea of self-sabotage for many, including me.
Thank you so much. I'm glad. I really hope.
And things that I'm taking away from this episode are: first, mind is your ally, not an enemy. So you just need to fix your conscious and subconscious mind and make them friends and be able to work together with clarity of goals,
Yes.
with neutral affirmations, and this will work like wonders for you.
Perfect.
Also, please do this 7 minutes exercise daily that Mukta explained. That would be so powerful in long run. Of course, if you don't want to do it daily, you have Mukta for you.
Yes, if you want to work on things really rapidly, then yes, I'm the person.
No. And yeah, we will attach her website in the description box. And yeah, please start following this exercise. And if with this conversation anything shifted in you, please share it with someone who you think should listen it to. And thank you for listening this episode. I am Nupur. This is Life Architects. Take care of the inner one.